I mean, one of Keir Starmer's key pledges, well, his top priority was to smash the criminal gangs. It now emerges the government have published contracts for these processing centres in Kent and in Manston, I think, to continue with expiry dates until 2032. So they are anticipating, they are planning...
Another 8 years of this.
...for another 8 to 10 years, with the option of extending. For another 8 to 10 years of this. So where's the urgency? Where is the plan? I mean, we've had 17,000 new arrivals. I know the government only came in 3 months ago, but since they came in, 13,000 new arrivals since they became to power. Where is the action on this, actually?
Urgent news. Keir Starmer just had a shocking mental breakdown on live TV. The Labour leader stumbled and in fact admitted that he was unable to fulfil his promises. This is a real disaster, and there is no doubt about it. But here's what you really need to know. This crisis has exposed deep problems within the Labour Party. Starmer tried to look sincere, but his words sounding completely unconvincing when he stated that 90% of the people affected by the changes in the pension system were aware. It looked like an attempt to shift the blame onto those whom he himself had failed. The audience felt it. People didn't believe a single word Starmer said. Labour MPs have started to distance themselves from him, and this is only making the situation worse. And behind the scenes, the headquarters of the Labour Party was in complete chaos. People were running around in a panic, phones were ringing non-stop, and emergency meetings were taking place in every corner.
Is our Prime Minister actually our Prime Minister? Because so far, he seems obsessed with serving everyone else apart from the British public. Do you remember when he kept saying this?
I say to you directly, my government will serve you. Politics can be a force for good. We will show that. We've changed the Labour Party, returned it to service, and that is how we will govern. Country first, party second.
Country first, okay? Well, what have we had? It looks like he might be about to give...
The atmosphere was incredibly tense and everyone was worried about the credibility of the party. Surprisingly, Starmer's advisors strongly advised him not to apologise. They understood that this could turn against him, but he chose to ignore their advice anyway. It really makes you think about what's going on in his head. He doesn't seem to hear others, or thinks he knows better than anyone. And that's not all. Starmer and the Labour Party are on the brink of an even more serious crisis that could undermine the very foundations of the party. What if I told you that Starmer's next move would make his failure to apologise look like a minor setback? Get ready, because we're going to discuss the NHS disaster that tore Labour's reputation to pieces. Do you remember the big promises that Starmer made about the National Health Service during his election campaign? He was lavishing numbers like it didn't matter at all. According to him, £30 billion in 5 years is a huge sum that has inspired many. Who doesn't want to increase funding for the National Health Service? But then, the cruel reality came, and it hit with full force.
To keep the Chinese happy, which apparently included a deal to allow a load of Sri Lankans who might be sex criminals into Britain as well.
There are serious concerns in Whitehall that some of those Sri Lankans have criminal records. There are allegations that some of them may be involved in child abuse. I've raised this with the Home Office to no avail. Can ministers in the Foreign Office make sure that all records are checked in Sri Lanka and in Diego Garcia?
He said that he wouldn't let Britain pay reparations. Then he ended up discussing reparations to keep the Commonwealth nations happy. He said he wouldn't put your energy bills up. Well, they have gone up and they're going to go up again. And now we're giving away billions of pounds in climate change reparations to keep people like India happy.
Treasury reports appeared, and suddenly Starmer's promises looked as real as if you'd found a unicorn in your backyard. The country is simply unable to fulfill what he promised. It's like when you make grandiose plans for a vacation and then realize with horror that your bank account has completely different plans. And now Starmer is starting to renege on his promises. All these important promises about the National Health Service. He seemed to think that we would all just forget about his words during the election campaign, as if it didn't matter. The unions of the National Health Service workers are furious. Can you blame them for that? The opposition parties are celebrating as if at a feast. They are attacking from all sides, and Starmer in fact provided them with all the necessary tools for this.
You have to choose now between Davos or Westminster.
Davos.
Why?
Because Westminster is too constrained.
Yeah, it's in England. We can't have that, can we? He said that he'd stop the boats, something British people actually care about. British taxpayers are paying for those illegal immigrants. But he voted against tougher asylum laws 14 times when he was in opposition. And then when people get angry about it all, he seems to think they're just massive racists.
The disorder is intolerable. It is incapable of justification. It's clearly racist.
I think we have to ask ourselves now, who does this Prime Minister actually serve? Because he seems to care about everyone and everything that isn't British. Are Brits at the back of the queue under Keir Starmer?
The Labour Party is rapidly losing its position on health issues, and people are beginning to doubt whether Labour can be trusted in relation to the National Health Service at all. Analysts predict long-term damage to the Labour Party's reputation in this area. But here's the thing, this whole mess with the National Health Service is just the beginning. Starmer is going to change policy, and you should brace yourself, because the National Health Service was just the first domino to fall. Do you believe me? There are many more ahead who are just waiting for their push. Starmer's latest move on immigration has shocked many and caused serious unrest within the Labour Party. This is a testing time, and the consequences can be disastrous.
Now, it's my sense that the public have never really liked Sir Keir Starmer. And as the truth begins to emerge of what he's really like, I don't think they ever will. Rumours abound online of far worse to come. Spicy, salacious stuff, I'm sure untrue. I couldn't possibly comment. Either way, very few people will ever vote for this man again. If he's not careful, he'll be out by Christmas. This turkey is about to get a stuffing.
The change of position caused a storm of discontent. Some left-wing Labour MPs began threatening to resign, which clearly highlights the deep divisions within the party. Labour's new hard line on immigration is not just a step back. It's a real blow to all the ideals that many of us have fought for. This drastic change caused outrage among many party members, especially those who had been fighting for progressive values for many years and dreamed of a better future. The reaction of the Labour Party was lightning fast and serious. Some key MPs are seriously considering leaving, which indicates a deep internal crisis that could destroy the party from within. Diane Abbott openly criticised these changes, accusing the party of betraying its basic principles. Progressive-minded voters who believed in the ideals of the Labour Party are now deeply disappointed by this turn of events. Polls show a significant decrease in support among this group, and many express a sense of betrayal, as if they had been deceived. Comments like, "This is not the Labour Party I voted for," are becoming more common, and there is a bitterness and frustration in these words that cannot be ignored.
We're definitely going to be in recession, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And they talk about this 22 million black hole that they've found. But if they really want to be honest with it, evidently 9 billion of that is down to pay rises for the civil service. So you know, they're all looking after their own type of people, and I just feel Labour now are just too much, you know what I mean? Would I put Starmer and was it Reeves and the other one, Rain or something, in charge of my business? The answer's no. I mean, but they're running the country.
You wouldn't have Keir Starmer running, you know, running your bath by the sounds of it.
Well, I wouldn't put him in charge of a broom, if I'm being honest with you. And that's being polite.
Yeah.
You know, they're just absolutely, they're not for the working people. They're all for giving money for people that don't contribute nothing.
Starmer's attempt to please the various factions turned into a complete failure, and it became a real disaster. The right-wing media is still unhappy, and he has antagonized a significant part of his base, leaving them completely perplexed and disappointed. This puts him in an extremely difficult position, as he is struggling to maintain the unity of the party, and each step seems more risky. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch did not miss the opportunity to take advantage of this situation, sharply criticising Starmer's policy. Her statement that his policies are hitting the British people comes out of the blue and highlights the serious political challenges he is facing at the moment. The change in immigration policy has exposed deeper problems within the Labour Party, and now Starmer's leadership is under scrutiny, as if under a microscope. The unity of the party is being seriously tested, and this is alarming for many. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether Labour can overcome these internal divisions, or whether they will lead to more serious problems for the party that could prove fatal. While Starmer was busy developing immigration policy, a financial crisis was brewing, and this created additional pressure. Have you really forgotten about the grandiose economic promises he made during the election campaign? This is a testing time and the consequences can be disastrous. What do you think about this video? Share your thoughts in the comments. See you really bother anymore. Share your thoughts in the comments.